What's your why? Now, if I asked you why you started blogging, or why you want to be a blogger, or why you are an author, or why you want to be an author, I wonder what your answer would be, or have you even given it any thought at all? Now, if you've ever gone to a job interview, I'm sure you probably have, many of us have, probably more times than we really wanted to, but I'm sure if you've been to a job interview, you've sat on the other side of the table, and one of the questions that you were asked was, why do you want this job? Now, it's probably something we never ever really thought about, unless you are somebody who prepares for interviews and has all your answers ready, so you're not, caught on the hop. You probably would be ready to answer that question. But for a lot of us, sometimes when you're asked a question like that at a job interview, it kind of puts on the handbrake, and the little mind starts running around crazily looking for a suitable answer. But in our own mind, there probably is only one reason why we want this job. In the majority of cases, it's simply probably just for the money. This company might have a lot of good things going for it. They might maybe help you grow as a person or gain more experience or all these different things. But on your side, probably the only reason you want this job is because you want the pay packet at the end of the week or the end of the month. But on the other side, that person wants to know, is there a reason why? Have you got a reason why you'll show up every day? When the factory whistle goes or whatever, back in the old days. But if the factory whistle went, could they be guaranteed that you had a good enough reason to show up every day and do the work that they employed you to do? So I want you to think about that. It's probably something you never really thought about before. I know I didn't for the longest time, and it was only when I had kind of come into Dan Meredith's circle, one of the courses he had was on finding your why. Now, if it's something you haven't thought about before, it's something you should really, really pay attention to, because your why is going to be what's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you going when nobody is joining your email list, when nobody is watching your videos, when nobody is reading your blog articles, when nobody is buying your Kindle books. Those are going to be tough times, or as I like to call them, the valley of disappointment. From where you are to this a point that you want to be, there's like a large valley that you have to go through, and it's going to be one of these valleys where nothing seems to be working, nobody seems to be paying any attention to you, nobody seems to be buying anything you do, you don't seem to be making any progress, maybe your web stats or your blog stats aren't going up, or maybe your viewing or the viewers on your YouTube videos aren't going up, and we all go through this valley of disappointment. And if you don't have a why of why you're actually doing what you're doing, why you're showing up every day, it's very easy for you to just drop out at the first problem, the first sign of failure, because you're not getting anywhere. If you haven't got a strong enough why. I remember reading many years ago, Tony Robbins brought it up in one of his books, I can't remember which one it was, but he said, again, I'll paraphrase him, it's something like, if you have a big enough why, well then the how doesn't matter. If you want something badly enough, you will keep plugging away, you'll keep trying every kind of avenue to find a solution to your problem, or whatever action you need to take. You will hunt down whatever you need to do to find out how you can get to from where you are to where you want to be, because you have a big enough why. So if you have a big enough why, the how will take care of itself. So if it's something maybe you haven't taught before, as I said, go and get maybe a piece of paper today, write down why you want to do what you do. Now, sometimes it can be hard, sometimes, I know when I did it at the beginning, the first time I did that, advice that Dan Meredith had given us, it was difficult for me. I probably come up with kind of superficial things like, the reason I'm doing that is for the money. But again, is that a good enough reason? How many of us have gone into a job because the money was good, and then when we got into the job was a complete and absolute suck. It more or less kind of drained the life from us. It was a chore to drag yourself out of bed. The money was good, but maybe the people you're working with were terrible, maybe the work conditions were terrible, maybe the job was just brain dead, or it was the same monotonous thing over and over and over again. And while it's good, doing something for the money, you need to have some satisfaction out of it. So why do you want to be a blogger? Why do you want to be a writer? look deeper, look beyond the money. Now, when I started off on my first training course, I showed people how to create illustrations for their children's picture books without actually hiring an illustrator. Now, when I released that course, one of the reasons I wanted to release that course was for the money. That was the first thing. I wanted to sell that course and I wanted to make lots of money from it. Now, it was only when I did sell that course that I got a testimonial one day that really stopped me in my tracks. And it was from a lady who had a sick daughter. I think her daughter was like maybe 2 or 3 at the time. But this lady, she wanted to write a book, but she hadn't really the confidence to do it. Now, she had gone through my course and she had been inspired by it, and she wrote a book for her daughter. And the subject of the book was about her daughter's illness, and she had talked about that in the book. Now, she had mentioned that in a testimonial. Now, when I was thinking of that video course, I was simply looking at it as a money thing. But after I got that testimonial, I totally turned my mind in a different direction. Like, here was somebody on the other side of the world who I didn't know, who I would probably never ever meet, and I had made a difference in her life. I had given her confidence to create a children's picture book. Again, it was something she never thought that she could do, and the fact that she could create a picture book for her daughter who was sick and it was going through probably the condition that the daughter had or whatever. Again, I don't know if the daughter was maybe the star of the book or something like that, but I'm sure that daughter will always remember that book. And the reason that book came about was because of something I did. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that is a huge motivation for me. It looks far beyond the money. You know, it's one thing to sell a lot of courses and to make a lot of money, but when you're actually making a change in someone's life, like I did with that video course, that for me then became one of my big whys. You know, again, who wants to turn down the money? Of course, we all need money, but that kind of was pushed into maybe second or third place into the difference I could make in people's lives. You know, from where I was here in Ireland, I could suddenly create a video course. I could teach somebody something on the other side of the world. I could make their lives better. I could maybe give them a chance maybe to create an income that they hadn't got before, and then all of a sudden, you know, their lives were going to be improved by it. You know, maybe their children's lives were going to be improved by it. Maybe that little bit of confidence that I had gave that adult would seep down to the kids when they'd see, wow, you know, mom or dad is a writer now and they're publishing books. You know, maybe it's something I should have a look at. Maybe I should follow the dream that I want to do. Maybe I shouldn't be stuck in a 9-to-5 job. Maybe I should take my talent online, maybe create videos, training courses, or become like my mother or my father, become a writer, because I'm inspired by them. And that can happen just from something that you do. So again, as I said, you know, have a look at why you are doing what you're doing. Again, don't just look at the money. The money is great, but look deeper than that. You know, if you didn't make the money, what would keep you going? You know, what would keep you showing up every day? Because you will probably go through, like many of us do, the kind of large valley of disappointment where nothing seems to be working, and you're not going to be making the money excuse me, you're not going to be making the money in those early days. That money isn't going to show up maybe for weeks or months in the future. So what's going to keep you going between now and then? It's going to be those things that are dear to you. Again, making a difference in people's lives, you know, entertaining people on the other side of the world that you probably will never come into contact with, maybe having a following. You know, all those kind of things are going to really help you and are going to keep you going. So, as Tony Robbins said, you know, once you have a good why, the hows will take care of themselves. You'll show up again and again. You'll do the work you need to do, or if you don't know how to do it, you will hunt down how to do it. So, this could be one of the most important probably videos I've probably made in a long time, or maybe ever, says you. But give it a go. You know, what is your why? Don't just turn up at the job interview looking for the money. Why should you be doing what you're doing? And the more and deeper and the closer it is to me, as you can probably even hear from that story I gave you a few moments ago, you know, you could probably feel how my voice changed and everything, because I knew that I had made a difference in that lady's life. And that is probably one of the testimonials I'll probably take to the grave with me, that I had made a big difference in somebody's life like that on the other side of the world. So give that some thought today. Come up with some strong whys. Don't don't settle for the kind of ones on the surface. Dig a little bit deeper. Or if you can't maybe come up with anything, fast forward to maybe the point where you're on your deathbed and you're looking back on a life well lived. What have you done? What have you achieved? What differences have you made in your own life, in other people's lives? All those different things. It's never going to be about the money. You're never going to lie on your deathbed saying, thank God I made that 16 million or whatever. It's going to be the things, the difference you've made in people's lives, or the things that you have achieved, how you've stepped outside your comfort zone, how you have done all those different things you didn't think you were capable of doing. So get a piece of paper today, don't put it off, come up with a good list of whys, and when you have them, type them out, stick them on the fridge door or stick them into places that you can see them regularly, because there are going to be days when you won't want to show up. There's going to be days when you don't want to turn on the keyboard or the laptop. There's going to be days when you don't want to do a video or a podcast episode or whatever it is that you need to do, but having that list of whys close by is going to be the thing that's going to keep you going. So if you'd like to know more of where these videos and podcast episodes are, you're very welcome to do a search for Writecome. That's WRITECOME.com. Or if you'd like to ask me a question for an upcoming video, you're very welcome to reach out to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to go over to the Writecome site right now, we have a wonderful free report, and it's going to show you how to go from words to wealth. And in it, I'm going to show you 10 ways you can make money from your keyboard. So if that intrigues you, or you'd like to take me up on the challenge, because I'm going to show you how anyone can make money from the keyboard. You don't even need to be a great writer. So if that intrigues you, head on over to the Writecome site, download the free report and give it a go. So as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.